get down. King shimmy. Get down. King shimmy, shimmy, get down. Do it to the crowd.
Что послужило толчком для того, чтобы вообще пошла заниматься брейк-дансом?
It looked super cool and I thought it looked really easy. I saw people do it and spinning and I was like, oh, that looks really easy, I'll give that a go. It's not easy, but it looked fun. So. Actor, yeah. And then I was always doing other dance styles, ballet, modern, contemporary, tap.
For real?
Yeah.
Contemporary?
You know, I saw some guys at my university and thought it looked really cool. And I had time. I was at university, so I had an extra amount of time when I wasn't studying. So I started one class, and after that I went every day. A group of people who were already taking class with a guy called Ilbuk, who's an amazing teacher from the UK, really good. And so yeah, they were already taking class with him and already had a crew, and they were already doing things. So. When I joined the society, it was called Art of War, which was the society crew. It wasn't really a crew, it was just a group of people who were all learning, so everyone was a beginner. When I had been dancing with the society for 1 year, Born to Rock, which is a crew, a very old school crew in England, the guy teaching was Ilbuk, and he from my university was Ilbuk, and he was the head of the crew Born to Rock. So they actually invited me in, and a couple of the other society members were also Born to Rock. So the best guy around me at the time was probably Rich Roast, who is a b-boy. Rich Roast, he's a b-boy from England. Does a lot of kind of cool floor technical stuff, mixed with bits of power and stuff. No, Ilbuk was my teacher. Ilbuk is kind of 35 now, so he's been dancing. 35. He's been dancing a very long time. He was doing all of the classical style stuff before it became really cool more recently again. So he was doing all of the really nice back rock, really nice freezes, floor freezes and things, and adding the odd swipe in and stuff. He was doing all of that stuff before all the younger kids decided it was really cool to put baby freezers back in about 4 or 5 years ago, before people started doing brand new old school stuff. I started to do power because I don't just do power, I do everything. I just dance. And power is an element of, ground power is an element that I do within my dance. I started it because I knew for me to compete on an international level with boys, that was what was important to me. To compete and to be the best dancer I could be, I needed to be more dynamic. So to make myself more dynamic in my footwork, in my speed, in my top rock, I figured I will learn something that gives me whip and momentum. So I decided power would be a good thing because it would help my footwork and help my top rock. And it would also give me movement that would allow me to battle against people who were also using those things. And a lot of boys, they can do all of that stuff. And I was surrounded with girls that couldn't, so I didn't want to limit myself. So I thought, well, the guys are training this, so why shouldn't I? When I wanted to learn flares, I decided I I'm going to do press-ups, I'm going to do sit-ups, I'm going to do all this conditioning because I needed to be a little stronger than I was. Now, since then, I don't do any conditioning. I'm really strong, but I spend my life pushing my body weight upwards. All my power goes up, so I do like shoulder halo elbow trap or windmill 90 windmill. It never goes down, it's always up, so I have to always push my body weight. So for me to then go and do press-ups is a little pointless because I've done that already today with the dance that I do. So for some girls, yeah, it's helpful to get a little leaner, to get a little stronger. But generally, through technique, if you learn the correct technique, you'll find you don't need so much muscle. It's more technique, kicking your legs, using the momentum, using whip. Well, I've danced with them for a while now. Originally, I've known Mouse for a very long time. I took workshops with him when I was starting a long while ago, and he was always very positive with me. And then I was training with him, and Blanca came to the country. He was, I think he was over the UK champ for SM. And Mouse was already part of Floor Gangz, and we hung out, we went training. And I've spoken to them before, and they were saying, you know, how's your crew? How's Born to Rock? They seemed very interested in what I was doing. They said Born to Rock are not competing so much. Everyone's a little older. My crew were not competing so much. Everyone was stopping, and I was the one training all the time. And I trained every day. I was training on my own. I had lists of, because it's so difficult to train on your own, I had lists of moves every day that I would have to hit 10 times just to make myself train, because it wasn't fun to train on my own all the time. So I was training on my own, and Mouse was asking about it and saying, oh, that's interesting. And him and Blanca went and had a conversation. And I think that the two had a discussion and said, look, Nadia has got a crew, but they're not doing anything, and it's a really good opportunity for her to develop as a dancer, and she really needs that, and maybe she can help push us as well in ways. So it was an invitation from Mouse and Blanca one day. They were really very careful with the way they invited me. They said, okay, you know, it's not like Zulu Kings. We don't have 700 people, we don't, you know, I don't want it to be like Zulu Kings. And for me, I have no interest in that anyway. I want family, I want a crew, I want people around me to train with every day. Or people I can speak to and I say, oh, I'm working really hard. And they say, I'm working really hard too, and we can push each other. So we're a family, we try to be as close as possible. Then the England side, there's Denmark, there's Japan, there's Korea. Everyone's working towards a common goal if you're interested. And so I went to Korea to go and meet with the group, meet with Born and Naughty One and Tino and Mars and people, and they all looked after me, trained with them. And once they saw me, they said, okay, yeah, we put you down. You're training hard, we see that. But it's the best thing for me because the crew level is so high. Like, the crew level is so high. Blanca is nasty, Mouse is nasty, like Naughty One, you know, these guys. To have people who inspired me when I asked me to dance with them was a really important moment for me. And to have people, I would rather be surrounded by people who are very good, because I don't want to be the worst person of the group. It's really embarrassing to be the crap person. So I trained really hard so that I could be amongst them and not feel like I was the bad girl in the crew. nutritional way, generally from day to day. Obviously, I have days where I go and party too much and then I eat rubbish food, but generally from the day to day, I will make sure that I'm eating enough protein in whatever form that is, enough carbohydrate and enough vegetables, enough water and enough sleep. As long as I'm doing those things, then my body is going to be as healthy as it can be for the next day. If I eat badly, I go to training and I'm lazy, I'm awful. I can't throw myself, I can't use my body properly. Whereas if I eat healthily, I have the right energy, the right whip in my legs so I can do stuff. So diet is important. And also because I work all the time, I am always doing shows. I work with a big circus company. So it's really hard, like it's a really physical show, and then I'm training as well, and then I'm trying to get to battles, and so it's a lot physically for me. It's not just I train and I do battles. There's a lot physically, so if I don't eat properly, I'm going to risk injury really fast. So I try to be as healthy as I can be. I really like coffee. I really like sweeties. I mean, who doesn't? But, you know, my dream is to, I want to compete at a level where I am up here. I want my level to be so strong that people are scared of me when they see me. I want to be so fast that that people, you know, they don't know what's going to come next. I want to be so dynamic with my movement and do things that are so technical that other people don't do. For me, that's why I train the types of power that I train. Because I know a million people can do martial arts. I know a million people can do elbow traps, but they don't necessarily do it in the combinations that I do it. So I try to be as dynamic, as interesting for myself as possible. I want to, so in terms of competition, I want to compete. I want to be able to compete against the people that have always inspired me and to hold my own. I want to be able to, it's not about beating people, it's about respect and mutual respect. For me, it's really nice to go from country to country and have people who are very good come over and say, who are you? Oh, it's nice to meet you, you've got some nice stuff. I'm like, oh, it's really nice, I think you're awesome too. You know, like, I mean, like, as much as we don't dance for each other, we do it for ourselves. It's really an honour to have those moments where the people who inspired you are inspired by you. So that for me is a dream. And also, I want to, I want to work with Cirque du Soleil. That's a big dream. Like, to go and do some crazy Vegas show where I'm like flying through the air. That sounds awesome, doesn't it? Yeah, I want to train with the people that I watch. I want to train with the people I watch online and go, wow, those people are amazing. And I want those people to be like, oh, she's great too. That's it, really. I mean, for me, that's enough. To have people respect what I do and not say, oh yeah, but like, oh, she's really good. Oh yeah, but she has this. Or oh yeah, but she's a little slow in her footwork. Or oh yeah, you know, I just want people to go, she's crazy. She does nasty stuff. So that's my big ambition. Be that good thing. So they sent me all these crazy clips, and there was Born, and there was like Naughty One, and Blanca, and all the people that I was watching. So to meet them and be invited to dance with them was like, for me, I was like, yeah, it's really cool. Oh my god, it's so cool. Or like when I met K-Mal and he came and gave me some respect as well. That was a big moment for me. Like moments like that where people came out. I met him in England. We did there was a movie that he was doing that I was in for one day. I wasn't in it much, but he came over and was like, oh, really nice stuff. Who are you? And I was like. I mean, I'm not a super fan, but like, it's really nice to have the people that you watch online when you start, and you go have the costume. Go, yeah, I see you're training. Okay, I work with a big circus company called Cirque, and we've just performed in St. Petersburg. We're doing a show that's produced by Cirque du Soleil, so I'm nearly there with Cirque du Soleil, but not quite. But we do a big circus show, so in the circus show I dance, I'm employed as a dancer. More recently they've employed me also to do routier, which is a big metal wheel that you spin. So for me it's perfect, because all I do is spin, so like all I do is ground power more recently. I train a lot of ground power, so I'm spinning all the time. And then I get into a wheel and I'm like, yeah, it spins so much, perfect, so much fun. So I do that, I do a show, a 2-hour show, one a day, apart from the weekends it's 2. It's really, really tough on my body, and as I get older, I'm 27, as I get older it gets harder. And there are times that I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? Why am I doing, I just want an easy life. Maybe I'll go and be a security guard or work in a shop or something, because it's physically really tough. But then I wouldn't get to meet people like you, or train in some awesome places with awesome people. I wouldn't have that opportunity. So I can't complain about my job, it's an awesome one. But yeah, so I do. It's always exciting. I am a hater. I am a pure hater, and I try really hard not to. And I try really hard not to hate, but I don't like. Okay, we were talking about judging earlier. I don't like either going to a competition or judging a competition, and the level is generally like you have a bunch of dancers, and people are trying to qualify, and the level is really low. And sometimes I look at the dancers and I think like, you haven't trained at all for this. Like, you're not ready. Like, they're not ready. They're not. I feel like sometimes people enter things before they've prepped for it, or before they're ready. And I'm not talking about people who've been dancing 3 or 4 years. I'm talking people who've been dancing 6 months, and they come out and they roll around on the floor, and they're trying to compete against some crazy guy who's doing some crazy shit. And I just watch it and I'm like, ah. And there's so many of those people going out and doing that. I'm like, go and train. Go and work at it for 1.5 years, 2 years, 7 years, 10 years, and then come and show me what you are, what you can do, who you are. Not 6 steps, easy, baby, 3, slowly. And it's not one person, it's all of them. When the entire event is full of beginners, it's awful. I don't like going to training and you're training something really, really hard, and you've been training that thing for ages, and one person sees it and they go, oh, that's interesting, and the next time you go training you see them training it. I hate that. And it's not that they've bitten your move, because for me, like, I do munch no 90 munch no. It's not my move, it's a combination I do. It's not mine, I haven't made it up. But you go to training and no one's training it, and then the next week later 10 people are training that combination, and it's only because they've seen you do it and go, that's cool, yeah, I'm gonna learn that. So irritating, because you work really hard at it and you're like, yeah, this is me, and someone doesn't, you're like, dude. And it's not that they're biting, it's just that it inspires them to do it, and I just wish that they wouldn't. Or people at training sitting on their butts in the way, hate that. When you're trying to train and then you've got someone who just kind of sits and stretches and they move closer and closer into the space, so there's less and less space to actually get down, you're like, please, move up. Or people who talk really big and then can't do anything. I find that really frustrating. I think everyone does.
Ну, вообще, пожелания, в принципе...
Can you give advice for new generation?
New generation advice? Yeah, I can give some advice. You only get out what you put in. You will only ever be as good as you make yourself. I get nowhere by sitting on my butt at training. I get everywhere by going 10 million times and forcing myself to do things. That hurts every day to make myself a better dancer. Every single day I will push things that I'm scared of. Don't be afraid to do the things that you're scared of, as long as you've worked towards them. I mean, if you're new, don't try to do something crazy because you'll hurt yourself. But, do the preparation for it, but push. Don't go training and stay with the things that you're comfortable with. You should be falling over every single time at training. I mean, not every time, but you should go to training and you should come out sweaty and you should be bruised and you should be like battered a bit, and you should have worked for the next thing. Don't sit there and practice things you don't do, because it's never improves that way. Push for it, because it's never get better.
Yeah.